everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at some AI concerns in the book world. From book cover art to fan art of beloved books like Ice Planet Barbarians. So what's the issue with AI when it comes to artwork specifically? Well, most AI models like Midjourney, DALL-E, Adobe Firefly are trained on images from the World Wide Web, the internet, often without the consent or compensation of the original artists. So for example, it might pull art or like fan drawings from places like ArtStation, DeviantArt, Instagram, pretty much any platform that artists are on. Artist names are also apparently used as prompts on these platforms, which can help replicate their style, like their signature look. This means the AI is profiting from their style without permission. Aside from that, you also have the environmental concerns around using AI, which we won't get into. You can Google it. It's leaving a huge carbon footprint. But in today's video, we're discussing AI art in the book world. And one person who doesn't support AI art, and rightly so, is Ruby Dixon, the amazing author of Ice Planet Barbarians series, amongst many other amazing books. Ruby took to Instagram recently to voice her concerns on the issue. I do not support AI. For some time, I've been aware that there are accounts feeding IPB. IPB is Ice Planet Barbarians. IPB are into AI and generating cute videos of the characters. I assume they do this because they love the stories so much, but this is harming the community. There are a lot of IPB fan artists out there. I love their art. I love seeing their art. I love knowing that my work inspired them to create art. This is awesome. Some of these artists are no longer drawing IPB art because it is being snatched up and fed into AI. They feel their rights have been violated, and they are correct. Any art being utilised should have the artist's permission first. The situation is only going to get worse as time goes on. If you like someone's art, don't feed it into the machine. Commission the artist. Ask permission to use things. Stealing art is only going to exacerbate the problem. If it's stolen, the artist will no longer create. If they no longer create, the pool grows stagnant. No one posts anymore. The art you loved? Gone. As a person that pays people to work with me, I will not be able to commission art because who will draw my characters if it's just going to be stolen and fed into a machine that will create 10,000 copies of it? Everyone loses. Please support real artists. If you see me post art on my account, it is because I have commissioned the artist. I have paid them to use it. I appreciate them letting me utilize the art to share with my audience. This is me spending cash to share something I bought with the class. This does not mean it is free use for everyone. The artist is always credited and paid. Do not steal their art, do not feed it into AI, thank you for understanding. Now, in response to this, a Facebook fan group for Ice Planet Barbarians wanted to honour Ruby's views and concerns around AI artwork. And although this post I'm about to read you starts off pretty positive, it doesn't end so well. So the admin have posted on the group an update AI fan art rule. Hi everyone, as your admins, we want this to stay a fun and safe place to celebrate and share our love for the Rubyverse. After much discussion, we've decided that going forward, this group will be AI free. Okay, cool. What this means: no new AI generated fan art will be allowed in this group. All past posts of AI fan art will remain up. Please respect this rule and keep the space positive. Important: do not report or leave negative comments on AI posts. Doing so may result in a suspension or ban from posting or commenting. Okay. For those who enjoy AI art, we have a backup group, All Things Ice Planet Barbarians Group 2. It's less active, but AI posts are welcome there. If AI isn't for you, you don't need to join that group. If at any point we lose access to this main group, we'll adjust and update. Thank you for helping keep this community welcoming and enjoyable for all, your admin team. So they want to follow in Ruby Dixon's footsteps by refusing to allow posts of AI artwork, but some other admins are just going to go and create another group that you can join to continue seeing and posting stolen artwork. Right. Let's just say people in the comments were not happy, and I'll read you a few responses. It's so sad that you are still supporting the use of AI, especially when Ruby herself has publicly stated that she doesn't support and condemns its use to create IPB content. I love the community, but supporting stolen art and going against the authors and artists' wishes will unfortunately make me leave the group. AI fan art doesn't exist, it's just stolen art. I don't see how you can approve AI in any group with Ruby's personal stance on it. It's not hard to just not use or approve AI. This is the only time I'll post my opinion on this, but I think it's a bad call to make exceptions to people using AI. If Ruby wouldn't support it, I don't think a group dedicated to her work should either. Someone else said, creating a group for allowing people to support and continue artists' work being stolen, specifically after the author we are here to support has asked that it stops / to not support this. Another said, hooray, thank you for drawing this boundary. And one more here, yeah, that's enough for me. I'll be stepping away from this group. Ruby has been very clear that she does not support AI generated art connected to her work, and I believe it's important to respect her wishes and create boundaries. Setting up a separate space for AI art, even if it's optional, still feels like disregarding that stance. For me, this community should be about uplifting her voice and vision, not going against what she's openly expressed. Wishing you all the best, but I'll no longer be participating here. And it looks like Ruby is aware of this group too, and goes on to recommend some other like Ice Planet, Barbarian Facebook groups that you can follow that won't post AI or plagiarized artist's work. So her most recent post was, Ruby Dixon fan groups that do not support AI. Want to join a group to discuss my books? And then we've got the Ruby Dixon Blue Barbarian Babes, and then we've also got unofficially Ruby Dixon Book Club. Both these groups are enthusiastic, respectful of copyright, and just honestly wonderful people. Thank you. Now our next AI story. Recently over on TikTok, a book cover artist has been called out for potentially using AI to create cover art for many authors. I don't know about you, but I don't always see AI. I can't spot it. Sometimes I can. Sometimes it's really well done. I don't clock it. But the book cover artist we are looking at today is Whiskey Ginger Goods. Now, they've got some amazing work. So, like, I don't know, cowboys, beautiful women, like pin-up girls. Like, it looks incredible. Very talented. But this is the person that has come under fire recently for potentially using AI.
Popular cover artist Whiskey Ginger Goods has been accused of using AI in her covers. She was quick to put up a response after this happened last night, and in her comments, she's repeatedly commenting, no, I do not use AI. However, let's take a look at the proof. By the way, before we get into it, this is the disclaimer that the original user, Summer, posted on Threads. It has been taken down because people were still going after the authors, and we have no proof that the authors had any idea of this involvement. So let's take a look.
Okay, so this first slide says what not to do now. So do not assume the authors with covers. Do not assume authors with covers by this artist know that they're AI. They may have no idea. Don't attack or bully anyone, not the artist, not the authors. If you have unknowingly paid for AI designs, request your money back. Getting a new cover is expensive and time consuming. If an author doesn't change their cover immediately, it doesn't mean they condone AI use.
You can see these Whiskey Ginger covers from Victoria Wilder, Paisley Hope, and many others. And as you can see here, they all do have somewhat of a similar face. That's not enough, but this is just slide one.
Okay, so on this first slide, so AI face. AI draws men to all have very similar features and proportions. The expressions are very similar to some famous AI images, such as the ones below. I have to say, I've seen that middle one, the one of like, I think it's Risan from Akatar. I didn't think it was AI. That's so stupid though, now I look at it. Now I'm thinking about it, it clearly is. But I think it's because I follow so many artists that it looked like it had been drawn. I don't know. I'm just probably naive.
This is where she really got me though. The inconsistencies. If you look at the middleman shirt, which I'm about to zoom in on, it is not drawn by a human artist.
And then here, number 2, inconsistency. So AI really messes up on the little things, the things that humans don't have to think twice about. In the open top half of the shirt, the opening is from the right hand side. On the bottom half, the opening is on the left. Would a human artist do this? It also says in small print, he's also missing a button and has AI face, but that's not the point here.
You can see at the top there that his shirt starts unbuttoning on one side, but then when you go to the bottom, it is magically on the other. That is just not something you would draw if you were a human drawing a shirt face on. This is not the fault of shadows or angles. Then we can see from a mock-up.
Number 3, cover-ups and older versions. On the version posted on Instagram, this man has a mangled finger. AI very often struggles with hands, but on the final version, the hand has been fixed and smoothed over.
This is from the mock-up of the Piper Rain cover. You can see his hand just looks kind of mangled. AI often has trouble with hands especially. And here it is cleaned up on the finished cover. If there wasn't AI used, why would that have been an issue in the first place? Who would draw it wrong? And then again, just more details of things that a human artist would not do. Belt loops vanishing, disappearing into shirts, etc. The spike on the collar.
Fine details, things like this belt loop vanishing into the belt, or this collar having one spike on one side and two on the other. Okay, I'm assuming they mean that little bit like sticking out there, okay? Or belt loop missing or going into the shirt.
Go ahead and pause to read this one, but there are no sketches recently on her page, nothing about Procreate, layers or things like that, and her style did seem to change pretty suddenly. Now this also kind of corresponds with unrelated, a proof from Lenny Kaufman 3 days.
Other details, no sketches or videos on her feed, not inherently suspicious, but it doesn't help. This new style of cover only started once AI became capable of generating images in this detail. Prior to AI becoming capable of these images, she just edited and drew over photos. Again, not inherently bad, but it's clear she doesn't draw from scratch, and AI really speeds up and cheapens that process.
Where she posted a reel on how to spot AI art that's being traced and passed off as human art. You can find this on Lenny's Instagram. And basically she breaks down how they can put the layer into Procreate as secrets. Even if they're providing a video, you can't see it. You can take the AI image and just completely trace over it and make it look like their own. Here's the last slide that the original user Summer posted. And one more time for the disclaimer. I'm also just going to insert some comments I took from Whiskey Ginger's Instagram of people affirming her that she's just kind of hearted because she stopped responding to any kind of criticism. Now, I'm not condoning any kind of bullying. You absolutely should not rush to her page or again to the author's page. This is not their fault, but it is kind of interesting what she's liking. This leaves a really weird taste in my mouth.
Okay, so I went to Whiskey Ginger Goods' Instagram and got their response from the AI, which did flash up in the video, but the lady's over parts of it, so I can't read it. So this is what it says. I don't usually engage with online noise, but this isn't for me. It's for the authors I work with. They don't deserve harassment. Every piece I create comes from decades of practice in illustration, photography, and love for this craft. I'm not here to cut anyone down. I'm here to build my art, my community, and the authors and artists I'm lucky to work alongside. I'm also strongly anti-theft in art. My own work has been stolen countless times, and I know firsthand how painful that is. That's why I'm committed to creating original work with care and intention every time. Someone said my work looks devoid of emotion. Honestly, I think that's fair. My portfolio does feel stoic to me. Emotion is something I wrestle with conveying, and I feel vulnerable about that. But that's not new. My catalogue of pinups aren't smiling, and I rarely ask my live subjects to. If the men sometimes look similar, it's because I'm still newer to drawing them, and truthfully, the real human man I often use as reference is a kind of a grump. It's a vibe. I'm always learning, always building. That's the point. So please know, there's a human behind every line. A human who was laboured, studied, obsessed, cried, and lost sleep over her work. A human who is thankful for your love and here to bring light and support to creative community. It is interesting that in Whiskey Ginger Goods' response, there's no mention of like AI. It's just that saying like, oh, people don't like my style. But it doesn't specifically say like AI. So I went and looked at the comments also, and you got someone saying here, so do you commonly just space out and draw a shirt buttoning two different ways? Or it's something you normally do to have a belt loop melting into a shirt, and you give shirt collars 2 points on one side and not on the other when it's facing, when it's a forward-facing image? Girl, be serious. You absolutely used AI to generate these images you became known for. Maybe you added layers over it, maybe you traced it and then painted it, but no artist would add those bizarre and telling details to work they actually made. On the flip side, you've got people saying like, Kia, I'm so sorry you're having to deal with all of this bullshit. Love working with you. Your artwork is incredible, and us working together has been one of the biggest highlights of my entire career. We connected so much, and I've seen multiple gorgeous drafts of your work and nothing but love, support, and faith in you. So that's a good sign, right? Someone else said, I'd love to believe this, but the accusation was pretty damning, and I'd be heartbroken, to be honest, for these authors and readers who completely geek out over your covers. Can you say 100% that you do not use AI in your process at any point? Do you have any time lapses of your illustrations for proof? So it is mixed opinions, but let's take a look at the video that the first TikTok reference, which was Lenny Kaufman, about how to spot AI, because I'd be interested to know, because that's something that I could probably deal with, especially because I like putting artwork in these videos, especially when I do like my reviews and things. I do tend to go onto actual artists' Instagrams, but then now I'm thinking like, well, they could still be AI even though they've got like a whole Instagram and stuff. So now I'm questioning it. Maybe I need to like look more carefully at which ones I'm using to like show a book review or like characters and things. Anyway.
Hi everyone, so I thought I would do a little video on how to spot illustrators that trace over AI for their images. I've noticed a few artists on here do this recently, and without naming any names, I wanted to address it. So generating an AI image, as we hopefully all know by now, is not great. It's unethical because most of the images used for Gen AI are taken without the artist's consent, and it also has a massive carbon footprint. Now, some artists are taking it a step further by generating an image and then tracing it and using colors from it to create their own version of the AI. But it's the same thing as making an AI image, it just has added steps. I thought I would show how this creative process might be faked by an artist using an AI image. So first, the artist will generate an AI image from Midjourney or the equivalent. Pinterest is full of these bland-looking characters with little to no expression and quite exaggerated, hyper-masculine or hyper-feminine faces. The men always look like beefcakes, the women have faces that look like a cross between Barbie and anime, with various degrees of realism. Some look more photographic, some look more vintage-looking, they all look a bit uncanny. So I'll import this AI image into Procreate, which is a drawing tool, and I'll import it on a layer that's private. Now, doing this means that layer is kept private and out of any video playback. So if you see a video playback of the artist's process, you won't see the AI image. Very sneaky. Then I'll trace the AI image, and this will presumably be what gets sent to the author or the client. At this stage, keep an eye out for sketches that look too clean or too finished. Often artists will have a much looser sketch at the start to figure out things like body poses, and usually these don't start off in great detail with a really finished looking look. If you watch a video of someone tracing AI, you'll see they go straight into details and there's no rough or loose stage. The sketch process just doesn't really make sense. Next, I use the AI image to color pick, so I'm literally picking colors from the AI image and coloring in my sketch. This is basically like paint by numbers. Or some artists will just smudge parts of the AI image to make the finished image look more quote-unquote painted. The end result is an image that is still AI, but with added steps. The faces will look hypermasculine or feminine, but will also look bland and expressionless. And it still has that AI face. If in doubt, reach out to an artist you trust that you know is good at spotting AI. Another thing to look out for on the artist's page is if they have suddenly started drawing like this post-2022. AI started getting widely used in 2022, so if they have a completely different style prior to that, or if they are suddenly drawing in this hyper-real style, that's also a red flag. Keep an eye out for inconsistencies as well. Maybe the faces are hyper-detailed, but the way their hands or clothes are drawn are more loose and sketchy. This will be because the artist is maybe correcting AI mistakes. So for example, redrawing hands that have 5 fingers instead of 6. I think a lot of artists these days are finding ways of making their art look more human and textured as a reaction to the proliferation of AI images. So it would be a little surprising if an artist is developing a style that looks more like AI. Do keep in mind that many artists have a few different styles, so for example, a more fully rendered illustration style and a more simple, sketchy style, but crucially, all of their styles will look drawn by them. Pay attention to details as well. So do their faces suddenly look very symmetrical and hyper-real when previously their faces that they drew looked more hand-drawn? That is a dead giveaway. Are they suddenly drawing like Norman Rockwell out of the blue? That's very suspicious. Some artists will also try to throw people off the scent by peppering in hand-drawn illustration amongst the AI-generated images. This makes them look legitimate in some people's eyes, but many artists will still be able to spot the AI images amongst the real illustrations. Beyond the ethical implications of using AI like this is also fraud.
I do want to state that there is no hard confirmation right now as to whether the artist does indeed use AI. I know there appears to be evidence, but it could all just be a misunderstanding. I'm just trying to see both sides here. As someone who loves artwork of my favorite books and characters, I follow a lot of artists actually on Instagram. Gosh, I love their work. I love visualizing it. And I've actually even started following a couple on Patreon. So there goes my money. But no, I'm happy to support these artists because they just do incredible work, and I just love. I'm a very visual person, which is why I tend to use a lot of artwork when I'm talking about a book in like my reviews and things, because I love seeing the characters come to life. Like I don't know, so I feel like I've got an imagination, but I don't know, I just love seeing all that detail that my brain just wouldn't have come up with. One of my favorite artists at the moment is, and I hope I'm saying this right, Elysiana. I'll put up her Instagram here. But her work is amazing and so much fun. Plus, super spicy. I mean, potentially that's why I joined the Patreon. Who knows? But on her page, she often in like her stories will show like work in progress, like gives you like a hint of like what's coming next. And it's always like sketches. She also shares like positions or like body parts that like she's really struggling with drawing that she's finding really annoying, which I like as well. So we have this, where is it? So there's this video here of her sketching the demon, K-pop demon hunters, which is really cool. And just like, it's really fun to see like the progress of it. Obviously, like, you know, you've got materials, you've got pictures to go by too, but yeah, it's just so interesting seeing it all kind of like come to life. She also has a hard time drawing hands, and even compares her hand like drawings to AI hands, like how terrible AI hands are, which I think is quite funny. Like I find it kind of weird that the other artists didn't really have like anything, like no sketches at all, or like work in progress to show like on their page, because it is really interesting to see. And even on the Patreon, I know there's not so many right here, but on the Patreon as well, we get to see kind of like sneak peeks. I always get an email of like the outline of like what it's going to be, and then it will like she'll tell me like next week, and so then I can check back next week and it's like finished. I'm not saying that an artist has to do that, but I feel like it's really interesting as like a follower, as part of the audience, like seeing the behind the scenes and kind of like seeing that process is really interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts on AI down below. Like full disclosure, actually on AI, when I first started this channel, my little profile picture was AI. You know, like is it CapCut? And you can put your picture in and it turns you into a different person, right? I can't remember what it was. It could be like a knight, or you can be from Fallout or something like that. And I don't really like have a lot of education around AI at the time either. Not that that's an excuse, but yeah, so I used an AI thing to change my picture so that I looked anime, which I used on this channel to begin with, until I got some money and I could pay an artist to actually draw me as an anime like drawing, and I specifically asked for no AI. That's another thing too. I've learnt my lesson that I have to specifically say no AI. Bit of a history. When I first started this channel, I'm called Lo-Fi Book Club because I love lo-fi and I love watching it, listening to it. I have it on all the time. So I went to create my own lo-fi based around books, which I did start doing, soon realizing that I was paying people and it was AI, or parts of it were AI. So recently, I've only got one up on the channel now, and I paid an artist to do like Frodo's little house, like a Hobbit scene. I was sent progress, update pictures, and like color palettes and things. That they're not cheap, so I do understand why people don't do that. That's also why I don't have any more. I just have the one because they're quite expensive to do, and obviously I want them to be good, like. And then I can like create the music and stuff around it. The artist who did my profile picture has also done, I've now earned a bit more money. And then I commissioned them to do my end card, which you'll see in a second. So it's like the same kind of anime me as in my profile picture, which is really nice. So it's more cohesive. I feel like we're going to cover a lot of AI topics because there's way more stuff happening in the book world to do with AI too, which I haven't even touched on yet. This was like the kind of beginning, I guess. A lot of it I find a little bit hard to understand, which is probably why I haven't covered it. AI in the book world is something you're interested in. I can continue looking and delving into that subject. Anyway, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.